How are you?
I'm okay. So there's a lot of like relive trauma. I don't even think I really understood until about a year ago how every time this happens, it deepens trauma and how I can feel my ancestors like rolling, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
feeling their pain too. So it's been hard, but as a like as you know from following my account, I'm a super spiritual person too, and I deeply feel like I'm in my purpose. So even though it's hard and it hurts and my body won't stop heart palpitations and other stuff, I know that I'm supposed to be doing this work. I need to look at it. I need to do something, you know. So
Yeah,
I'm doing okay.
yeah, yeah.
The way it works for me is when I hear someone's voice, I tap into some kind of frequency somehow. I don't know how it works, but that's what's sure. So
Wow.
like when I hear people cry or when I hear people yell, like everything that I've been watching and stuff, it affects me like it's happening to me and it's too stressful. Like so people replaying some certain videos and George Floyd and stuff like that. I'm like, we can't watch this. Like continue to like poison our minds with that. Like
Yeah,
we know that it happened. Like we don't need
sure.
proof. But thanks.
When you talk to like women, because our podcast is like really around women and like women who are like overcoming struggles, whether they're a mom, whether they've been like, in corporate BS, whatever the challenges have been in their lives. Like, what is it that you see most or like hear most? Is there like a general thing that you?
For women, you
Mhm.
know, the imposter syndrome a lot. That comes up more often. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. I shouldn't be here. If I am here, I'm bossy. I'm a bitch, or that kind of thing. That
Ooh,
narrative that women are not, they can't be a certain way. And so the trauma that builds up of their voice not being heard either exacerbates energetically into an unbalanced place that causes them to have a lot of anger and which then causes a lot of resistance for themselves, or it causes like a meekness and they feel disempowered. And so the messages and the messaging that happens around women, um, it's difficult for them to kind of embrace who they are. And given the current climate, women of color have different struggles than women of non-color, white women, sorry. And not to mean that they don't both have struggles, but they're slight. I wouldn't say slightly. They're actually quite different in the ways that they show up. Because for white women, I've seen because they're used to fitting in, it's really hard for them to step outside of the box and show who they are if they have a different type of different sort of opinion. Where women of color have been used to never fitting in anyway, so they are more comfortable with saying and speaking their voice. But then they have struggles that they're not worthy enough, that they're not, which I'm sure white women have as well, but the way that it shows up is different. Heart chakra energy, they tend to have issues with codependency, because they think that they need to earn love. And so they often offer too much. They're always like, what can I do? Can I do more? But never really giving themselves back that love because they're looking for someone to validate them in that area.
wow.
Women that have issues with their throat chakra don't speak their truth and have issues with like expressing themselves and really talking about what matters to them, and even processing their own thoughts. They usually have a difficult time kind of speaking about things that are difficult for them. Women who have issues with their crown or third eye chakras, because I feel like they're mostly paired together because they're so close together.
Okay.
They are different, but they have I usually have, like, if a woman has an issue with the third eye, she also has an issue something with her crown. um, they have issues with overthinking, too much analyzing, like not
Okay.
being able to let things go, being in their masculine energy, not allowing the feminine, like not being in a place of be. It's like move, move,
Right.
move, got to do, do. Women who have issues with solar plexus, they don't go with their gut, they don't trust themselves. So they ask themselves a lot of questions. Sacral chakra, they don't have to feel comfortable in their sexuality and their creativity. And then root chakra, they have issues with just security, with like
Wow.
whether it's in relationships or financial or within themselves. Like, I don't know. So in those troubles that we have, like especially like with imposter syndromes or things like that, like getting very clear about who it is that we are and what it is that we want in order to make those changes for ourselves, and be intentional about them.
It sounds like you have to spend a lot of time with self,
Yeah.
right? like OMG, who has the time when you have a job, a husband, a child,
Right.
and going on, right? But like,
It's you
when
have
is
to make
that
time.
time?
You have to make time. Like there is I have a friend, my best friend. She is she's a fucking powerhouse. This woman
Really?
has 2 children. She gets up at 4 in the morning so she can have time for herself, to read or journal or meditate. Then wakes up her kids. Before During COVID, she had to teach her children and do the rest of their
Uh,
schooling. In addition to, she's a teacher, so in addition to her
oh
125 students,
God.
and then she teaches grad class, and so she did that at night. And she's got a husband, and I'm like, I don't know how the hell you. And then she's got time to
Wow.
talk to me, like I'm like, hey, but she makes sure that she has that time. And for myself, it makes me understand why I'm single, like why I don't have kids, because I have so much time to devote to this type of work. And I understand that the thing that I've been dying for, like I want to be in a relationship, I want this and this, would distract and take away from the work that I incarnated it to do. So that is a part of that surrender. Like you can make time. Like people make time for the things that are important to them, but if you're not important to yourself, you won't make time for yourself.
Damn. No, she didn't.
I
Ooh,
feel
but
like that was
that's so,
channeled. I feel like I need to write that down.
but that was like real. Like shit.
Nobody else is getting in. Nobody else is telling me where to go.
I love
Like
that.
I'm surrendering to universe. So
I love that. Surrendering to the universe. It sounds so simple. I'm gonna try it, I
it's
swear.
so hard. Let's let's
Oh,
let's be clear. Surrendering to the universe, the ego wants nothing to do with that. Nothing. Like
it's
you're
painful, I think. I
it
think
is.
it's just too painful. Like I can't breathe and I have anxiety thinking about it, you know?
Because you're fooled to think that control is going to keep us safe. And actually, it's the opposite. Control is what keeps us in resistance and in anxiety and in panic and in fear.
Wow.
And when we understand, at least if you believe in a higher power, that there is a particular mission or path in which you've been assigned to, or you chose, however you want to think about that,
Right.
then who's going to be better at seeing what's ahead of the road, you know
Wow. Wow. Any other tips real quick before we wrap it up?
I just want to say, like, be gentle with yourself. Like, we don't get things right the first try, and
Right.
we're really hard on ourselves. It makes us want to give up. It makes us, feel like we don't belong in a space. It makes us feel like we hate ourselves,
Mm.
and it's like, give yourself a break.